Oh my god, it looks so festive in the background.
Wait, in yours? Oh yeah.
I got a little
Ooh, okay.
got a little
Wait, are those lights up there?
at Michael's Crafts.
Dude, did you drop less than $130? Because
I think I dropped like $130. And this is the big part of it. So
they're really, really nice leaves. And lights.
Yeah. It's that, and then there's like a tiny little candle over here. It's one of those like 3-wick candles that are just like
big boy.
Yeah. It's an absolute flame.
Dude, I haven't bought a 3-wick candle in so long. I've been stuck on the 2 wicks for a while. I'm a big fan. I love candles so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm just now having flashbacks of like our last podcast, all the stuff we talked about. I did successfully under caffeinate. Not under, but like I'm 3 cups deep. But 2 were like at 8. So
is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, this is a good thing, but I'm not like out of my mind. I still, again, because if people like took a pill of me each, like day, once they take it, they're gonna be excited. But I feel like I have control over it today. Like I'm just like bursting with bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like I can contain it. It's me light.
Yeah, you got to reserve some of the product. You can't sell it all at once.
I should. I mean, it's fun, but, you gotta be safe to drive,
yeah.
So.
It's like opening an Onlyfans and having, like, your subscription be, like, $5, but the first thing you see is you, like, full-on, like, gallon squirting at the camera.
It's gotta come with trigger warnings. You're like, whoa, what am I getting into? I thought these were just, like, nudes.
Yeah. Everybody else, all the other influencers are just, like... posting pictures of them like with horny tags, but it's them just fully clothed, and it's just you like going like full like 5-finger.
You're like inside my asshole.
Yeah.
Dude, it is kind of true though. Like a lot of people who start their account, like I haven't like gone on there, but I follow like a good amount of my friends like have them, and I feel like if I paid for it and went down the rabbit hole on these particular people I'm thinking of, they're probably just like the sexy selfies you take before you not even like go out. I'm talking like go to work. Like they're wearing just like regular pants and maybe a crop top, and they're like kind of standing with their hip out a little bit, and they're like sexy pics, and you're just like okay, like this is safe for Maine. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
maybe I just need to have freakier friends.
Bitch, sell it. Like, come on, you're on OnlyFans.
Make me want to pay for it.
Yeah, it's like either it's either you and your scrubs or like a Netflix subscription. Like,
like I don't really need more of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've been thinking about OnlyFans because there was a time in my life where I had a lewd Twitter account where I'd like post like like the shit that people post on OnlyFans but for free. So it was just kind of like the only prerequisite was like be 18 plus, and then you get to see my dick. Like,
was it even private? Did they even have to request anything, or were you like oh yeah,
just for anybody who flies by? It was definitely locked because like I don't want like obviously like kids to like come on, or like my brother or sister or whatever. I wanted to be able to like accept or deny people, but the thing is like I feel like I missed out on some cash. I went all out on some of that content, so I mean.
Okay, wait, what is the most extra thing you've done for a picture? I'm talking, it could be a regular picture or like a dirty picture, like whatever, but like where you were doing it and you were like, yeah, this is gonna really just like make it, but like at the same time, if you were not taking that picture, you'd feel like a dumbass, like glitter or something. Glitter on the face is one thing or whatever, but like in a like it just so over the top.
So over the top. Mm-hmm. I feel like so we have this like huge fucking like forearm dildo at home.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
we just talked about it, like me and Dylan like a week or two ago. We were talking about that, but anyway.
And it's pretty fucking intense. It's definitely it's something you work up to. But I figured it's like, it's content. It's for the fans.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
I went all the way. All the way through.
You went all the way on that thing?
It's like 14 inches. It's
that thing
literally
is not
like my fucking...
just like a little long dildo. That thing is it's like not even a baby arm. It's like a grown ass NFL player's arm.
It's definitely like... Yeah, it was a little much. I actually ended up completely obliterating my asshole to the point where like...
Stop it!
To the point where it was like really hard to like...
No.
Like not poop and have like blood come out. I was trying to find a way to say it without it being super fucking disgusting, but like that's just how
I live for it. This is the real shit.
Yeah, first episode and I'm selling it already. Like it's gonna get like there's gonna be one person like tuning into our podcast. They're like,
dude, I
internet
can't wait.
locals, what's this?
Dude, I literally hope it's one of my older clients. Like
but I ended up going to the doctor. I got an appointment because it took I mean like after a week of having like bloody shits, you're just like, this is getting out of hand. So
oh my god, this is so amazing.
I went to the doctor and I still have the same doctor. I don't fucking know why. I should have switched doctors like that day. Like
oh my god.
But I tried to explain. I was like, yeah, I was having anal sex, and he's like,
with
wow,
a huge human.
Well, I mean, like, 'cause they they bend you over, they inspect, they like figure out what's going on. You tell them about like fucking bloody shits and whatever, and
oh yeah,
and it's them trying to like put together a picture of like, okay, this kid, had like, yeah, had sexual intercourse, and he's now like having problems shitting. Like, what kind of sex was this kid having?
Your intestines were tangled.
Yeah, and
so what you're saying.
He literally asked me, he's like, so why did you have sex? What were you doing? It was for the fans. And I couldn't tell him like, oh yeah, I was making porn. Oh yeah, I have fans. It's like so
oh my god.
Awkward. He just gave me some ointment and
it's a bag of lube.
Be careful, young man.
Does he bring it up like each appointment now? He's like, what kind of appointment do you need? Like, do you need a colonoscopy or...
He probably knows I don't need one because, like, I mean, everything's so stretched out now that it's just like, I mean...
It's pretty cleared out.
If there was ever cancer developing, it would just fall right out of me.
Oh my god. I just can't... I wish I could be there to, like, see the look on his face, and I wish you would have just, like, been... Like, if you were so straight up and he was like, anyway, so what are we seeing you for today? You were just like, I put a 14-inch... dildo up my asshole recreationally and recorded it, and now I'm in a pickle. I'm shitting blood. What can you do for me, sir?
Oh man.
Oh my god.
You never really know how those situations, like you hear people talking about that kind of shit.
It's probably more common than people think.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know. It's one of those like once in a lifetime kind of situations. You're talking. I just never thought that would be me. It almost feels like it was like a TLC kind of thing where it's like, like my weird obsession kind of shit, or like,
yes,
it's weird like late night TV content that I didn't know that was going to be incorporated in my life. But fuck, maybe I should hit up TLC, try to make that something for me. What
would you call it? Like, if there was like a whole series where like obviously you're maybe episode 3, and then there's like episode 1 and it goes all to like 10 or whatever, like what would you name the series? Because TSC is mostly like home makeovers, what not to wear, things like that. So and then there's like my strange addiction and stuff. So would it just be like people who put shit up their assholes, or like
yeah, just like the bigger the better. I feel like this is just turning into like a porn. Like I don't know like how. I mean, TV is kind of going out the window if you think about it. So maybe TLC is that desperate. Maybe they're gonna start.
Yes,
taking
I think
risks,
that's what it's gonna do.
You know.
Well, I think they're gonna also like try and put a little empowerment behind it, so they feel better about their social discourse. I could see that. Yeah, that's super cool. Super fun. Oh my god!
I can't believe I You know, I feel like I'm pretty ahead of the times. I know that's like such a fucking older person, like millennial thing to say, but it's like
you definitely are.
Why was I doing internet porn for free back then? Like I'm such a fucking socialist, you know? Like I just like did it for the people. You know, I did it for like
I'm surprised
the love
you
of
didn't
it. I
think
never
about
did it
that.
for like a capitalistic agenda to like make money and to like, you know, get people addicted. It's just it's so and then OnlyFans comes in and it's just like, yeah, you could post pictures of your feet and you're gonna make like $10 a month. It's like
you're like, I'll do so much more than that.
It's like I mean, if it's just the foot, I'll do more than like post just the foot. Like
I'm generous.
So would you ever do OnlyFans? Has it come across your mind?
Okay, so I don't have a full grasp of what the limitations are, or if there are limitations. I know there's a cap on how much you can, like, you know, price out each video or whatever, but I don't quite understand, like, is it for the most part just like nudes and like selfies and stuff, or is it for the most part video content? Like, I guess I don't understand the broad spectrum of capabilities, which is where my entrepreneurship will come through once I know the rules, so I can break them.
Yeah. Maybe you got to figure it out. You know? I think it's more of like, would you like subject yourself to it? Would you like sign up? Would you like check it out?
Yeah, I think so. I would definitely check it out. I don't know if I could like be one, like a person who has one, because you do have to promote yourself. Like you do have to like have a social media account like for that. And I literally am not even tweeting right now, so
same.
I'm in a pickle. Like I'm gonna have people are gonna be like, oh, you're not like selling yourself, put yourself on a billboard or something, and I'm just like, ooh, yeah. I don't even know why, because like who fucking cares? Like I'll tell my clients just about fucking anything, so it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna keep it separate. I'm like, no, I'm kind of this bag of trash all the time. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, it's not like a traditionalist thing. It's mostly like I would feel stupid like advertising I could do the content, I could probably figure that out.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of weird? So like we live in a society now where it's like you can't have hobbies. Like everything has to be like a side hustle or like a career or whatever. But like imagine like doing OnlyFans and it's just like a hobby, you know, to like do sex work. Then maybe you could probably have it be more like of an actual approach for you. Because I feel like what you're saying is like you have to promote yourself. It's like everything you do, like even if you're drawing or if you're like making music or whatever, it's like if you're just making music or you're just drawing or just, you know, taking nudes, it's like people don't do that nowadays. You know, it's like everything is to like the 10th degree and you're like selling it via a like subscription service to other people, you know?
That's so true.
Like nobody takes nudes anymore, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's just like, oh, like you're like some guy's interested in you. You just like send them your OnlyFans link, you know?
I actually kind of like that. It like puts it in a place.
Actually, now that it's said out loud, it's kind of a good play.
Yeah, I'm starting to, like, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'd upload obviously the old ones first, the ones that I already have made and put the work and effort into. And then I think my boss would be like, hey, can you come in for such and such thing? And I'd be like, oh, I have a shoot that day. Like, it is just me and myself.
A shoot.
I have content creation that day, so.
Yeah, something of a model online.
You give a suggestive like smirk, and she's just like, "What is it?" And you're like, "It's nothing."
It's called a side hustle, bitch. You wouldn't know, Karen.
Oh my god, my boss, like, I could see her having one. I mean, I probably shouldn't get into that, but like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be a fire account. I will say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I think I've asked her. I don't think she, no, I don't think she goes down that, realm. She keeps it PG.
What a boring life. But you know what? Boring in a not bad way. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's stale.
I mean, it's
I'm saying
it's like a domestic kind of.
Yeah. What a tame life. That's a lot.
What a safe, comfortable, non-creative, or mainstream way to do it. Healthy.
Yeah. It's
not holistic, but healthy.
Go with the flow vibe.
Oh my god! If I had a fucking illness, I feel like mine would be a trap. Like, I trap them into checking it out, and then I end up, like, it starts off like, oh, okay, we see what she's doing, she's got a vibe, like, whatever, she's got themes and stuff, and then it will just be, like, memes. Like, just shit I thought was funny.
That's kind of that's like the Bella Thorne situation where she was like, I'm gonna, putting up nudes tonight, $200 a pop, and, like, everybody bought in, and it was just, like, I think she racked in, like, a couple mil or something from it, and then it wasn't an actual nude. Oh
wait, because she had, like, there was parts of her covered or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like,
I remember hearing about that.
It was super scammy, or it's like
people
are subscribing for, like, yeah.
Dude, I kind of love that she did that though.
It's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, like, I'm not mad because I didn't spend $200. If you're spending $200 on a nude, like, what kind of fucking simp level is that?
That's what that is, I think. I think that's what that is.
Like,
I don't
honey,
think it's
like
anything else.
Like, girl, if you can get, like, a guy to buy into your nudes $200, like, come on. Like, I mean, that's great. Great for you. But, like, at the same time, for, like, the people doing it, it's like, I couldn't imagine spending $200 on a nude when there's, like, Pornhub, and you just watch a 4-second ad and then you get the full experience of it. Maybe I'm just not completely sold on the culture yet.
I feel confident that with all of my coworkers, if I said, hey, can you show me your best nude? They would show me. Like, so
yeah.
In what world would I be, like, needing to see a specific person's and be like, I will pay anything for any content you'll give me, even if it's, like, unexposed. Like, I want it so bad. Like, I'm pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just look at my own and I'm like, oh, cool. That was a good day. Like, whatever. I fasted the whole day for that. Like, because you have the fast. Like, what?
Yeah.
Drinking so much water.
Well, with me and my friends, too, I'd say more so back in the day when I was, like, posting online, for kicks. I knew what, like, all of my friends looked like naked, and none of us had OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like, if
I have
anything,
my phone
like,
with my friends in it.
Anything, it would just be like us commenting on our, like, nudes online, or just seeing each other nude in person.
You're just hyping each other up. You're like, yes, you look so good.
It was never like a sexual thing. It was more of like a, like, super body positive kind of, like, damn,
exactly.
Bitch.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how I feel about the whole thing. Like, I don't want it to be like this. I only want this part of you, this, like, dirty, filthy, like, fucking sexy thing. I want to be like, yes, I love what you're doing. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a movement.
You.
They're a movement. I love that journey for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
Maybe it is just, like, a little animosity because, like, I've missed out on so much capital.
Yeah, I think I've missed out on a lot. I really do think I could have made a good amount if I was, like, 18, 19, like, right when the OnlyFans came out. Oh, that was a good time.
It's like, fuck college, like, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Dude, okay, hold on a second. We need to take a moment. Okay, so there's something I read on Reddit, and this is like not even, I don't even fucking remember what subreddit it was or anything else, but it was basically, I think someone was mentioning their student loans, and it was just like a part of whatever else they were talking about, and they mentioned that they have student loans like over $200,000, and I was thinking to myself, $200,000, like that's the loan you got. That's taking off any portion the government or a fucking grant or any of that like scholarship like cover. So whoa, like can you imagine learning something or anything that you're like, yeah, that seems worth it? That amount of money. So let's go ahead. Okay, so if it's $200,000 for a student loan, so let's just say round it up to $300,000 if it's that fancy of a fucking thing.
Yeah.
What would you pay that much to learn? Like, what the fuck? The internet exists. Like, bro, can you not kill an interview? That's all you need to do. I mean, yes, okay, I get, like, doctors need certifications, but $300,000?
It's kind of, when you put it like that, it's kind of insane, because, like, so basically when a doctor is going to school and they go to, like, med school or whatever, and they rack up, like, I don't know, 100K, 200K. I don't actually know how much. But even if it's like 100K, it's like, is that the price you have to pay to learn how to save somebody's life?
Also so deep. Like, I'm 14 and this is deep, but actually though, like,
like it's kind of crazy. So like, is like a human life like as much as like the medical school tuition would be, you know, like I could see like college not being completely free. It would be great if it was free, but like in this society, like there's no fucking way that would fly. Like there's got to be money going like left and right, you know, like, but it's so like crazy how 100K, 200K, or like people like, you go to law school is so crazy expensive. And you're like,
not even necessarily a specific type. I think, okay, let's say you go to school for like a specific type of lawyer. Okay, you finish up, you know exactly what you're doing going in, so you don't need all the extra like shit to the other types of law. It's just that type of law. I can understand if that would cost this insane amount, because at that point you're learning a specific thing, and it is very complex, and there's history, and there's also I don't know, there's shit just changes, so I get it. But if you're okay, so let's just say a doctor as an example, primary care provider, whatever, like there's a lot of shit that they aren't taught because they're not a specialist. Like if you're a neurologist, or if you're like someone operating a specific life-saving type of technology, okay, cool, 300,000, that adds up, I guess. But like, it's kind of base level for a lot of like doctors, and I'm just a little blown away that it might come to that amount. Like, I'd rather do anything else for that amount of money. Like literally anything else.
I think I would rather flash some cooch on OnlyFans for like, you know, depending on where I mean, obviously if you're going to med school and you're like spending all of that time going through, and you know, you might want some kind of fulfillment out of that. But I mean, I saw like the long road ahead of me when I started college, and I'm just like, do I really fucking want that for myself? Like, I've been paying off a $10,000 loan for like 4 years now.
Oh, and that's not even like that bad. I mean, 200, imagine you look at, you're like, okay, let's look at the statement, $200,000. Like, how much interest is on that? Like, I can't even grasp it. Like, and the stupidest part is the fact that I even continued to take a fucking college class last fall. Like,
you're just you're brainwashed.
Like, you're not going to learn the lesson. That's me needing to learn the lesson multiple times, that it still sucks. All the programs online fucking suck. And it's not the teacher, it's not the class, it's the fact that I have to follow rules. And like, there's like hard deadlines, and like, and now the deadlines I don't mind, like that's fine, I get that, but the fact that on the multiple choice tests, like, I'm gonna fail them. There's literally no other option than me failing them, other than me doing a follow-up email after every fucking quiz and test saying, hey, just so you know, on this question, this one, all the questions basically that I got wrong, it's because you were unclear and 2 answers looked right, and so I went for that one, and this is why. And then most of the time she'd be like, okay, I'll give you a point for that. I'm just like, yes, bitch, I fucking know, because I read it and did the whatever. You're just being confusing like a fucking piece of shit. So yeah, like, why would I do that for years? Ew. I got shit to do. I got candles to buy, Yankee Candle. I got selfies to take. I got Onlyfans to run.
Yeah. I can see that. I feel like there's a lot of different ways that we could improve a lot of different things. But we just don't. Nobody ever, like, wants to, like, take the leap. We gotta keep America, whatever the fuck it is.
Bored.
And whatever it was. Never change anything. Just keep it all the same.
The fucking founding fathers, man. Pieces of shit.
Motherfuckers. Where would we be without the founding fathers, though?
I don't even know who they are. Dude, that's how trash I am. Like,
I mean,
I don't know. George Washington?
Yeah.
Is he one of them?
It's kind of crazy that we don't really know. The thing is, like, we don't really know anything about, like, this country. Like, just the average Joe. Like, just like me, like, for instance, like, I'm nowhere near an intellectual. But I would say that, like, you know, I'm not dumb. Like, I know, like, how certain shit works. But, like, when it comes to this country and, like, political stuff and, you know, like, just the whole package with that, like, I really don't know shit. Like, I don't know anything about, like, this country. Like, I know, like, the 50 states, if I looked at the map. I know that there's, like, 2 parties, and I know that they usually both suck. But, like, other than that, like, who the fuck are the founding fathers? You know what I mean? I know they're a bunch of colonizers, but, like, what, like, you know what I mean? And then like fucking Lewis and Clark for, like, Washington or something like that. And then there's like Columbus is sprinkled in somewhere in there.
Do you remember anything out of your history book? Any of them from any point in time, like, that you know for sure that you read and you know that that's true? And if you took a test, you'd know that one thing is true. For me, Holocaust and bubonic plague. Those are the 2. I got those fucking nailed down. I know everything about them. I can spit facts. I can tell you, like, the biological breakdown of what happens when you get the bubonic plague. I mean, I can tell you all that. And then with World War II, I've just read so many books on Auschwitz and stuff. Like, literally just finished another one because I find it, like, it's fascinating, obviously really fucking shitty and horrible for what they went through, but I just love those 2 in particular dark things. But like, if you're asking me, like, just about anything else, I don't have much. Like, there's nothing I can be like, yep.
I couldn't.
I'll be like, maybe.
Like, not a single war. I have no idea when a single war ever happened.
I lean on whoever else is in conversation for those to confirm my guess.
Exactly.
In those things, yeah.
And, like, you could argue that it's like, okay, well, that person, aka me, is just, like, underinformed and doesn't want to take the time to, like, learn about this, like, this American history and whatever. But it's like, I honestly really fucking don't want to. If I don't have to, I don't want to, you know? And it's not like I don't care about, like, people in this country enough to, like, want to learn that. It's like, I mean, if I'm going to be stuck in school 8 hours a day, like, they should have taught me the things I needed to know in order to live. Because now it's like, when I want to learn something, it's going to be for me. Like, I want to learn about how to upload on OnlyFans, or I want to learn how to, like, you know,
troubleshoot your computer or your iPhone.
Sign on to Twitter. Like, I have other things I want to do now. I do feel like there are a lot of things that we did miss.
I think genuinely, if they taught history in a way that is, like, the first goal is to teach you to empathize with those situations, and then they come with the facts, because then at least for me, like, I'd be more interested. So it's like, okay, I can't empathize with oh my god, I'm not even gonna try and, like, reference anything because I will be so wrong, but, like, I don't know, like the Rosa Parks thing, or I don't know, the Pocahontas, like what really happened, like all that kind of stuff. Like if they were to start with like, here's some fucked up shit, and then like I'd be like, oh my god, no fucking way. And they're like, yeah, this literally happened. And they were like, here's some proof. And you're like, oh my god, pictures, I'm fucking traumatized. And then they like went, this is how it happened. I'd be like sucked in like it's American Horror Story. Like I would remember everything. I'd be able to I'd be passionate. I mean, I'd have all these things. Luckily, by some crazy accident, I have empathy for a lot of those people, even though I didn't learn that shit in like school that much. But I feel like that would, I mean, would you be more interested?
Yeah, definitely. If it was, I mean, if it was done in a different way, I think like I just would have a better chance of retaining any of that information, because it's not like I wasn't taught anything. It's just like I didn't retain any of it because I feel like it was probably so like not important in my head as a kid, because like it's just like American history, it's just a bunch of like white dudes with like wigs and shit, and then like they're like wars and shit, and there's just some bad stuff, but like they don't go into like shocking like they didn't make it real. They made it a textbook. Yes,
it was a cartoony, shitty picture.
Yeah, they made it homework. They didn't make it like oh, by the way, like this classroom wouldn't exist if we didn't murder like hundreds of thousands of people to get here. You know, like the amount of war, like all this shit that we've done. Like show us gruesome images. You know, like show us like shit that like really like. Because, I mean, as a kid, you don't give a fuck about anything other than your monster and your video games, you know? Like,
dude, you're giving me so many, like, thoughts. Oh, my God. You're so right. You're on one. I think it would have so much more impact. And, again, this is, like, age appropriate. Like, I'm not going to fucking... Like, my niece, for example. Did I tell you when she started asking me about Hitler?
No.
Like, I had not brought it up. I wasn't, like, in a World War II phase, like, when she was asking about... This is, like... Let's see, she's 11 now. So this was maybe 2 years ago. I think it was, like, 2 years ago, maybe 3. She goes, you know, like, who's Hitler? And I was just straight face like that. Like, you know, who's Hitler? Like, it's just like a fucking Sunday afternoon or whatever the fuck. And I remember going, you should ask your mom about that. What do you know? And then time went by. It was, like, a week or two. And then my sister-in-law, I'm at her house with my niece and stuff, she goes, hey, so Amelia has a question, and I thought that you might want to take the reign on this one, knowing that she had already asked me. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, she goes, you know, who's Hitler? Like, what did he do? I was like, well, what do you know? She goes, I know that he, I think she said he put a lot of people in prison. Like, I think that's all she really had at that moment, and she knew it was wrong, but she didn't know anything else, and she wanted the fucking details. She's just like me in that, like, she's like, give me the fucked up shit. I promise I'll be responsible, but like I don't want to give her fucking nightmares or be like thinking about this all the time. So I'm trying to like paint a vague picture, and I think this would be relatively appropriate. So I said, well, he did do some pretty awful things, but I mean, this is me being this is like a random mom moment where I'm not a mom, but I got to play mom and try and be responsible about it and not to like fuck her up. But I'm like, he was, you know, pretty sick in the head. It's like a different kind of sickness when it's in your head, because you can't really see the sickness, you know, because if someone is throwing up or have a cold or coronavirus or something, you kind of can see it. But this is a different sickness, and it ran in his head. Yeah. And so he did a lot of horrible things and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how I approached it. And I just kind of said, I don't think I said he murdered millions and millions of people through a gas chamber, but I mean, she wanted to know about Anne Frank, and I was like, oh, well, she had a very, very small apartment, and she had to hide in there a lot, and you'll figure that out when you're older. But I mean, she still asks me all the time.
Yeah, like, I mean, well, now that like she's found that like spicy word like Hitler to, you know,
when she knows we all get weird,
and like, yeah, and kids are so fucking shitty like that. Like I know I was a shitty kid like that. Like if I learned something, I definitely like pressed. I was definitely a little like
information curiosity sponge. Though. I love that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
that's kids wanting to learn real things that happened.
But then again, it's like, how can you tell that, like, you know, there's a certain point where like it's like too much information, and I'm not like well versed in, like, you know,
you're not a dad.
Like kids' brains and how they operate. You know, like I'm not a dad, or I've never like spent time like trying to figure it out. I don't really like kids very much. Hot take. But I just don't know how to communicate with them. But it's like, in that sense, it's like, you know, you raise your kid wrong and they could become like a serial killer. You know,
literally
you like
Ted
traumatize them and they can grow up fucked up. And it's like, so what's the point where it's like you're teaching them like too much too early? You know, like
yeah.
Would the Holocaust like spiral them into like a traumatized state? You know, I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I used to think about that a lot more, and then I read books on kids' brains because I'm a psycho and just think I need to know everything all the time. So what I understand, and there's multiple views of thought on this one, but there was this thing I read in a book once that I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use that as my rule of thumb. And it's that you want to give them just the amount of information that they'll be content with. But you obviously have to like lens it with like, let's not do rated R, let's do PG, or let's do just G. Like, not Disney-fy it, but make it like understandable in the limited world that they know. Because it's almost like when you're in the kitchen and you're short, you can only really see above the counter, right? You can't really reach the top cupboards and shit. So you don't need to go that fucking deep and dark and far away. They're only down here, so you can just use things in that world to kind of help them understand. Yeah. But you don't need to be like, I don't think I'd be like, yes, Amelia, there was a time in the Holocaust where there was a very, very small, I don't think it was an encampment, but it was like, it was a place they used to dump the bodies. And there was like, in that small encampment, it's almost like a tiny town. They had, you're only supposed to have, I think, like a couple hundred healthily living in this small little, it's almost like a couple of cabins or something like that, and they had 8,000 or 10,000 just bodies on bodies. Some are alive, some are dead, some are like whatever. I'm not going to be like, hey, so anyways, that happened.
Yeah. That like, would be
so
like,
cool, right? Like, kill me. Oh my god.
Then they look that shit up online, and
then they Google images. I've tried. There's nothing.
Yeah. Well, fortunately.
Good God. Wait, so what do you feel like you were most curious about as a kid that was like kind of like fucked up, and you may or may not have asked, but like you thought about it a lot and you just kind of wanted to know what was going on?
Man,
doesn't have to be like
alcohol.
Dark, but like alcohol.
I was definitely, because my dad would always pour one up, you know, every night. Like he'd always have like a little Rockstar, a little rum, mix those two together. What a combo. Yeah, or Rockstar. Dude, that's a young dad. Yeah, it was just like every night, like vodka, Rockstar, and Spike TV. You know, like classic dad shit.
Dude.
And I just never understood. I never understood like what, because I knew it was the top of the fridge. I could never reach it. I'd have to, at that point, because I was so young, I'd have to like get a chair and like reach up, and grab it, and like. My parents spent all of their time in the living room, so they never like went to their room unless they were sleeping, and like we always went to bed before them. So it was kind of impossible for me to. It was like a magical elixir, a magical ingredient that I never was able to like know. But I'd ask a lot of questions, and like they'd be like, "Oh, it's just an adult drink," like. But I knew there was something else because they're always drinking it, you know. Like it was always like a little extra, a little something. So I do remember. One time I did grab the chair. There was like a bar stool. They went outside to like hang out with their friends. They had like a couple of their friends over. Grabbed the bar stool, brought it up to the fridge, and they went to Jamaica for their honeymoon like forever ago. But they brought this really nice. Now that like I think about it, it's like a really nice Jamaican rum, and there's only a little bit left, and they had never like. Drank it, so I'm assuming they're probably saving it for like some special time or whatever. But little kid me, I just like grabbed the first bottle, and it was always the one that was like closest at the front. And I remember drinking that, and it was literally like the most like painful beverage I had ever drank in my entire life as a kid, because like it like you hadn't drank anything that spicy ever. Like it was just so like astringent. Was it like a spiced rum? So yeah, it was astringent, it was spicy, it was fucking awful. Like it was, I mean, it's literally like like Kraken, but like you add like just a shit ton of other spices. It was awful.
I fucking
and I
hate
remembered
spiced
like
rum.
I remember telling myself that I'm gonna grow up never drinking this. I'll never be an adult if that's what it takes, because I hate it.
Dude, I can't. First of all, I can't believe that was your first like sip off the old bottle. How old do you think you were when you first like just like a little bit?
I think it was like, I was pretty young. When did I move to the house? I think it was probably like 12, 13 or something.
And did your parents ever get like a little wild? Like, do you ever know, like when you were like trying to understand this like alcohol thing, did they ever get like a little silly on like weekends or anything? And you're just like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm seeing that. Or did you just think they were like extra happy that day?
Well, I always thought that they were just extra happy. Like in the beginning, until I learned what like alcohol does and like how you get turnt as fuck, fam. But like, but like, I always thought that just like when their friends were around, they were like actually fun, and then like, you know, actual people. But then I realized it's you know, it's just
Alcohol centered them or something.
Yeah, their alcoholism just taking them to new heights. No,
man. So yeah, alcohol is weird. That's so weird that you brought that up as like the thing you're curious about.
That was the only thing.
I was literally never curious about it ever. I never was like, what do we think? Literally not even a thought. I don't know. Well, I don't know what. I'm just kind of like, it's just weird. But it seems like a normal thing that you would be like, oh, this is interesting. It's a regular habit, and I don't quite get it. That makes sense.
One of those things where, like, when your parents like keep you from doing something, like, so like some parents, like when you're, for most people, it's like when you like grow older, it's like you're not allowed to have like girls over because they don't want you guys fucking or whatever. And it's like, and the more they like keep you from that, the more you want to do it. So it was kind of like that with like booze. It's like they wouldn't like, they always gave me these weird fucking like, oh, it's, you came from a stork and like, or whatever the fuck.
Are you kidding me?
That is like, so it was basically like that, but with like booze. So it was like, it became more and more mysterious to me and more like exciting and thrilling. And then I ended up drinking it and it tastes like dog shit. So.
So
I
my mom
demystified that.
and dad, they had the opposite approach. They didn't like force me to drink or anything like that. But it was, well, first of all, we had no alcohol in our house ever. Zero. Like, it literally was never a thing. And like whenever I went to a friend's house, which obviously was normal, like I remember, let's see here, I'm thinking of the first time. I don't think I'll ever know like the first time because it's so casual in a lot of people's homes. But like, I remember I went to somebody's house and I remember seeing like a wine bottle on the counter. This is like a classy fucking suburban home or whatever. And I remember thinking like, oh, that seems unsafe. I remember thinking like, oh, your parents, they drink. Like, I thought anyone who drank was a straight up alcoholic. I literally assumed, because I didn't really ever have contact with it, I was like, that seems like the devil's, you know, semen. Like, it just seems like it's dangerous. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know what to think because I never really saw it, and I never came in contact with like fucked up people. Like, not fucked up, but like, you know, under the influence, like ever. Like, I literally was like confused. Like, I don't know. I just, whatever, doesn't apply to me. Like, it's weird.
Did you grow up religious?
No. My parents, so they were like, I think you're supposed to keep it anonymous, but they were like recovering, you know, like, or whatever that means. Like, they just don't drink. So my dad, I think he got sober the year before I was born, or maybe the year, but I think it was the year before. And then my mom, it was like, I think I was like 2, but like, I don't remember. I mean, I wouldn't even remember that far back anyway, but it just was never a thing, like ever. It was just, so when I saw it, I was like, that's fucking weird. It was so normal to not have it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just like, it was, I don't know. I mean, like, once you get to a certain point when you're older, I'm sure, like, I mean, after my 20s, I'm going to probably be drinking still and be like, fuck, dude, why am I doing this? Like, it's literally, like, I'm 25 right now, but it's like, when I drink now, I'm just like, This is it.
In quarantine, fucking by yourself. You're like, okay, me but clumsier.
It's just like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm literally like, my stomach hurts. I'm like, I got a headache. I'm getting hungover before I've even gotten drunk. Like, what's going on?
Dude, me, I need a multivitamin. What the fuck? Like, I'm drinking Gatorade with the alcohol, hoping it'll like counteract the effects, and I'm literally having like one glass. Like, it's not even that fucking lit.
You're taking like,
I'm also by myself, so.
You're taking like Irish car bombs, but instead of like Guinness, it's just like Pedialyte.
Irish car bombs. Could you imagine like doing one of the cute bar tricks, like little like cool, like, oh whoa, the bartender did that, but like doing it by yourself at home, and you're not even a bartender.
So
it's just me. Like,
sad. That's such a sad sight.
Holy shit, that's so fire.
You're like acting like you're at a bar, like you have like you run behind your counter, you like make a drink for yourself, and then you run back around, you're like RPing with yourself at a bar because you miss it so much.
Oh my god, I better start crying. Dude, just imagine like when you're drinking and you get into flirty mode and you're just like, oh my goodness, like who would I be flirting with? You have a plant. I mean, I have Dylan, you know, I have Lena,
trying to like
but
take
like
yourself
that's weird.
home.
Like, I feel like I would just send weird Snapchats to friends.
I wonder if I could get myself to come home with me at a bar. You know, like, I wonder, am I that hard?
That's so meta.
To get? Am I easy? I'm pretty easy, but like, I wonder if I'm like, because I mean, I'm a little bitch, so I don't ever make the first move on anything. So really? I feel like we both would just like not.
You'd just be staring at each other at like weird moments, like never really quite like getting eye contact. It's like you look down. You look up, you look down. Like, it's just the whole night.
The sexual tension would just be like maxed out. My balls would be so fucking blue the entire night, and then I would go home. And that's literally how it would be.
Yeah, you'd be there and you'd be like hoping that the other person's gonna say something, and you're just kind of like, you know, it's literally the last minute, and you actually have to like go to sleep because you're either tired, you have something to do the next day, and you're like, anyways, well, I'm gonna head out, and then you either use like, oh yeah, it was good seeing you, and then like that's it. Like, what a shitty night, dude.
And then we're both thinking about how we're like now gonna have to like masturbate later because we're so fucking sexually frustrated.
I feel like that's interesting hearing that you don't want to initiate in those situations. Like, I love when anybody like opens up about like whether they're initiator, like chaser or chasee. That's how I like say it in my head. Because I don't like when I really don't like when other people initiate. I'm genuinely serious. And it's not like a feminist or anything like that. It's like, I think it's fun, and it's literally the most exciting thing to be the person who's like shitting their pants, like hoping that person isn't like a fucking piece of shit. And like, I have to, like, me initiating like gets me so pumped. I don't know why. Even in a relationship.
When you have the green light, like if you guys have talked before and you've gone out a few times or something, and you have you have the green light, like consent has like passed between each other like at some point in time. Doesn't have to be at that moment, but when it gets to that moment, then it's a shit ton of fun. But like when you're like first meeting somebody, it's just it's like I haven't even started the car. I haven't even like got in the car. I'm not even driving anywhere yet. Like, I can't, there's no green light. There's no red light. It's like I haven't even left the house. Like, that's kind of like what it is. Until you really get to know somebody, then it gets to that level. But I've never been like
that whole process so much. It's my favorite thing in the world. Like, and I didn't know that about myself until I did the whole dating thing and living by myself. And then I was like able to reflect on the past, like, oh, was I more of a initiator, or was I just like a closet chasey? But I'm like, nope, I love being the person to like fucking have the plan, sniper, not literally obviously, but
hunt and snare.
But like, that's my favorite thing ever. Like, even now, like, because when you're in a relationship, you still have like an initiator, and then you have the regular person, or I guess the regular person, like the person who, you know, has to like accept and respond. Mm-hmm. I hate being the accept and respond. I fucking hate that. I always want, it's like, it's almost like, don't even come on to me ever. Like, let me know that that's what you want, and I'll come through. You know what I mean? But I take pride in my ability to do that. So it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like everybody should objectively just like feel like that. I think like consent should happen at some point, if it is gonna happen or not. I mean, like, not.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Happen, like, if you guys like are even like, you guys should have that conversation of doing the thing first, and then like not that day, but like at some other point, then you guys can kind of like play the game, you know, the chutes and ladders, the kind of fucking just back and forth.
So
Then
you
it's a
want
lot
a
more
guarantee.
fun.
I'm okay without even the guarantee. Like, even if they were like Stone Cold Steve Austin or like not an option, it's not like I want somebody who's like so far from being an option that like they're married or something. Like, I wouldn't do it then. I'm not like somebody chasing something I can't have, but I just think it's fun. I don't know. That's that. Kind of wraps that part up.
It's okay. We're like a little over an hour now.
I don't even know what time it is or day it is. I just stopped trying to keep track.
How long have we been doing this?
3 days. My eyebrows are still on, so